Pretty much every time we go out and play golf, the conditions are going to be different to a previous day that we have played. And this is really important for us to consider because we need to make sure that we can adapt to the various conditions that we play in. Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the different things that you might want to think about when playing in different conditions. So without further ado, let's go. This is Nick Does Golf. Hey golfers, and welcome back to another video here on my channel Nick Does Golf. Today's video is all about how you adapt to certain conditions that you're going to be playing in every single round that you play. These conditions aren't going to be the same every single time, but in an ideal world that would be great. But because it's not, we need to think outside the box and think a little bit deeper into the shot we actually want to be playing. So let's dive straight in. So let's talk about when it's really warm and sunny here in the UK, which isn't very often. When this is the case, we need to expect the ball to obviously go further. The ball's going to be warmer, the surface is going to be a lot firmer as well, so the ball is going to have some more roll out, especially once it hits the deck. This is absolutely brilliant for when you're driving the ball. It's going to go further, but this means that you're going to have to adapt and take less club for your next shot. Now this isn't a bad thing by any means, but we need to make sure that we're aware of the fact that the greens could be firmer as well. So this might mean that we have to actually pitch the ball short of the green to let it roll on, or we need to hit a higher shot which is going to land softly. If we can do this, obviously we're going to hold the green, and we're also going to make sure that that ball is going to finish in a decent position on the green, ready to give ourselves a decent putt. But what about when it's a little bit colder? Well, we need to obviously do the opposite and up our club selection, maybe one or two depending on how cold it is. This is obviously going to impact the ball flight. The ball's not going to travel as far, so we need to make sure that we get that ball projecting to the desired distance. Moving on, so what do we do when it's raining? Well, when the ball does get wet, it's obviously going to slide off the club face, so we need to make sure that we are cleaning our club face so we can get some optimum amount of grip when we actually strike the golf ball. As well as this, we need to consider that the ground's going to be soft, so it might be harder to get through, especially if we're hitting out rough that's pretty much this thick. So we might have to consider either actually upping our club if it's worth going for and the lie's decent, or if it's terrible, it might be worth clubbing down and actually trying to chip our way up the fairway to give ourselves the best chance of scoring. As well as this, the greens are going to be softer, the fairways are going to be softer as well, so we need to make sure and be aware of that the ball's not going to run out at all. And of course, obviously the higher that we hit the golf ball, the more chance it's going to either plug or it's going to stop dead. So with distance control, we need to make sure that we've got this spot on, and we either choose the club that we are using originally, or we club up to actually guarantee that we're going to get it there. And what are the things that we need to do when it's windy? Well, there's a few things that you might want to consider, especially if you play with a shot shape of some sort. So if you're playing with a fade and the wind's coming off the left, you need to bear in mind that that is going to spin even more. So it might be worth taking a club that you actually hit the ball straighter with, or you're choosing to hit a lower ball flight which is not going to affect that golf ball as much. If you're trying to hold on up into the wind, say for example you're hitting a fade into a wind that is coming off the right hand side, choosing a line which is relatively straight so it can counteract what is actually happening with the golf ball. So the spin that you're putting on it is going to be obviously counteracted with that wind, so you're pretty much going to hit a straight shot, so bear that in mind. If you're going to ride the wind, say for example the wind is howling off that right hand side, you need to make sure that you start it enough distance to the right hand side for it to come back to where you want it to land. If you don't allow enough, obviously you're going to miss it to the left, and that might cause you some trouble. And then from there we've got the winds that come either straight into your face or downwind. If we have a wind that's coming straight into us, obviously we need to club up, and we need to make sure that we are hitting a lower ball flight. So putting it back in your stance is going to be beneficial, as well as leaning forwards, looking low and cutting that swing off. And when we are going downwind, there are a few options that you can take. You can either choose to take less club, obviously the ball is going to go higher and you're going to be relying on that wind a little bit more, but you can also choose to club down, so you've obviously got that control and the wind is not going to push it as much, so you'll be able to judge your distances a little bit better. Whenever we are playing in the wind, we need to make sure that we are hitting the straightest possible shot. Any sort of side spin is going to be fluctuated by the wind and it's going to look a lot worse. So making sure that you adapt to these different conditions is really important, and bear these things in mind, even if you have to write it down on a notepad and leave it in your golf bag, just to remind you of what you might need to be doing when facing these difficult conditions. If you do carry these out effectively, you're going to save yourself a few shots, and these could pay dividends. If you like that video, hit the like button, ding, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what sort of things do you do when the weather is either difficult or when it is really sunny and nice and warm. Of course, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it, as you can join me on this journey as we get to the end, and you can check out some of my other videos. I'd really appreciate it. As well as this, make sure you check out my social media links. They're all in the description box down below. I'm on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok, so you can keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. Interact with me, message me. I would certainly love to hear from you. So I hope you found that helpful. Thanks very much for watching, and see you all on the next one.